Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to League Racing TV for round 2 of Season 2 of TTML's Division 3 Championship. My name is Aidan Carter, otherwise known as Carmentelis. I'll be taking you through proceedings as always, and joining me in the commentary box for the first time this season after not feeling too well last time out is TTG Conti. Conti, how are you doing, mate?
I am doing really good. Last week, a bit of a sniffle, but yeah, I'm back now, and I must say, I wasn't in the commentary box, but I watched the race last week, and it was a cracker.
It was an absolutely crazy race last week out. If anyone did miss the race last week, then you need to go back and watch it. I can't go through everything that happened in that race because I can barely remember it myself. So much happened in that one. But it was old school on pole position from Stumpy, but the final order was completely different to what we had in qualifying. So we'll just take you through the standings coming out of round 1. Obviously, the standings and the results from the first round will be exactly the same as we only have one round in the championship completed. Hero Jokin won last time out in the AlphaTauri team. Bear in mind, he started the race from 20th and last on the grid, having not set a valid time in qualifying. So, Hero Jokin had an incredible race last time out. Simply Superman on the alternate strategy as well. He's also started outside the top 10. He came through to finish second, and Jan in the Mercedes, the final podium sitter, in third. Behind them, the other point scorers were Kiki in fourth, ahead of TNR Steph and TNR Langfell, fifth and sixth. Stumpy ended up seventh, ahead of Tekken in eighth. Lighty ninth, and his Ferrari teammate Alex in 10th. Old School 11th, Exile Nolan in 12th, Flores 13th, B Morgan 14th, and Isotopic, the last point scorer, in 15th. Sean, Frederick, Harry Nawag, David and Captain Chubbs all took part last week but could not finish the race in the end. They couldn't score any points. So, looking at the standings we've had so far, I mean, obviously we can't make too many predictions for the championship at this early stage, but you've got to say that that is not what we predicted coming into the second round.
No, it definitely isn't. I mean, a lot of new guys, some old fast guys. Yeah, it's still all open. I mean, last week P20 to P1, incredible stuff from Hero Jokin. So, yeah, I don't know who to predict for the win yet.
Yeah, I really don't know either. I mean, to be fair to Hero Jokin, I don't think he was expecting that race either. He did get pretty lucky with a safety car, but at the end of the day, you make your own luck in these kind of situations. And when he had the lead, he had obviously the medium shod runner of Simply Superman directly behind him on the track, and Hero Jokin managed the speed, managed the pace nicely, and won the race. He won the race cleanly. He did a great job at holding onto the lead once he got there. Very similar, really, to what we saw. I think what I saw from a League of Europe race a couple of weeks ago. It's someone just jumping to the front of the field for a safety car, but then just winning based off of the pace that they were able to hold on at the front of the field. So all credit to Hero Jokin for a great drive last time out. But Simply Superman as well, we've got to put a name up for him. He started, I believe, in 12th or 13th on the grid, started on the hard compound tyres. He also benefited from that safety car, but Simply Superman getting off his second season in Division 3 off to a really good start.
Yeah, we kind of predicted it last season. I mean, he's really consistent. Not one of the fast guys as well. I think now he is one of the faster guys. But yeah, really consistent. Doesn't lose the car that much, and just does his own thing. Concentrates on his own race. So yeah, I think we're gonna see him up there more than last season.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, with the big three that we had last season, they're obviously not here anymore. So, and that battle for fourth in the championship last season was incredible. We had basically 6 or 7 drivers going for fourth in the standings last season. So, look to that to be the actual championship battle this time round. Just going to run you through as well the manufacturers' standings after the first round. So, AlphaTauri lead the way on 42 points, only 4 points ahead of Alfa Romeo. Williams are third at the moment, ahead of Ferrari in fourth after their best point score in any TTML race so far in Division 3. Mercedes in fifth, ahead of Racing Point sixth, Haas seventh, McLaren eighth, Renault ninth, and Red Bull, the last of the manufacturers, in 10th place. All have scored points in the first round, so everyone is at least off the mark. But great start for AlphaTauri as well. I was just talking to Conti before the stream started about Tekken as well. Tekken 8th in the race, obviously D5 champion last season by quite a comfortable margin, but he finished 8th in the race, I believe, with a broken throttle pedal, so I'm sure we can expect a bit more for him today.
Yeah, I think so. It's one of the newcomers who I personally expect a lot from. Yeah, with a broken pedal, coming 8th in the race is just great stuff. And yeah, besides Tekken, I think Kiki's going to be up there as well. Really fast drive. He was my teammate last season in Division 4. He got promoted, but yeah, I think he's gonna have a shot as well.
Yeah, definitely. Finished fourth last time out, did a really, really good job. Wasn't necessarily the fastest person on the track, but you've got to avoid the carnage at some of these rounds, and he was able to do so and came away with a great result in the end. Just looking at the comments there, Langfell's just sent in a comment for TNR saying that he's unfortunately at work, which is why he can't take part today, and he wishes good luck to everyone out there. So, yeah, good luck to everyone. And obviously China. So this is obviously a little bit of a different round to Bahrain. I wouldn't say the track is too dissimilar to Bahrain in terms of style, but obviously I think I've made my points on China pretty clear in the past. I think as a track in real life, I think it's an absolutely great track for Formula 1. On this game, though, but it's incredibly difficult to master, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's incredibly difficult on traction. Really slippery track. Yeah, kind of like a street circuit kind of traction. But yeah, it's a great track for racing. But yeah, on the other hand, as a racer, I don't really like the track.
Yeah, I think it kind of splits a lot of driver opinion. I think this is a very Marmite track. You either absolutely love this track or you absolutely hate it. I'm of the mind of I love it in real life, but I hate it on the game. But I'm sure to watch, it's going to be a great race. And obviously, this track is going to seemingly benefit those who are able to keep it nice and clean and consistent. So maybe Simply Superman, one of those people that we mentioned earlier on, could be one to look out for today. But as well as that, we've also got to look out for the people that qualified well in the first round as well. Obviously, Old School got off to a brilliant start last time out with pole position. Unfortunately, wasn't able to convert it in the race. He just got a little bit unfortunate with that safety car in the second half of the race. But Old School off the bat seems to be at the moment probably the fastest driver on pure pace out on track.
Yeah, he was fast last season as well, and yeah, it's what we said last season. If he's going to be consistent, we know he has the speed, but if he's going to be consistent, yeah, he's really fast, and he can take pole in, I think, almost every track.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if we can pull that off. We're going to ride aboard, though, with TTML Steve in the Mercedes. He's going to take us through a full lap around China. So we're going through turns 1 and then through 2 and now through 3, I believe. I can't actually remember how many corners there are in that first part of the lap because it tightens so much. And now towards the end of the first sector, down to the hairpin. If you can get a good enough run coming out of that first section, you can get an overtaking move done down towards the hairpin. You have to get nice and late on the brakes, though, and make sure you get the move done before this next fast sequence of corners in the race. Incredibly difficult to follow a car through here because of how high speed it is. It's right on the limit of having to lift off in that first part as well, so any sort of understeer through there and you're going to lose tenths and tenths of time. Now towards the end of the second sector, coming up towards the DRS straight on this track. It's the longest straight on this track. It is very, very long. A very iconic straight, actually, this one. One of the longest straights in Formula 1, but you've got to get through this really, really long right-hander that banks ever so slightly as you get further round, so it gets easier and easier as the corner goes on. Gets a neat run out of the corner to Steve, but doesn't use all of the road. And now down this 1.1 kilometre back straight, opens the DRS, coming down towards the hairpin, a very, very tight hairpin. Break probably just before the 100-metre board, and he does so down the gears, down towards the hairpin, gets the car turned in nicely, gets out of the corner nicely as well. Tekken's crossed the line on a 30.7. Steve's going to come around the final corner, a very fast left-hander, don't want to cut too much to the inside or the outside to pick up an invalidation. Steve is next across the line, and he goes 0.4 of a second faster than Tekken with a 30.3, so a good lap from Steve. But as Jan, actually, his teammate does a 30 flat, so he goes immediately faster than his Mercedes teammate. But one thing we've got to look out for here as well is strategy, and it already seems like those two drivers have committed to the soft compound tyres.
Yeah, I was just wanted to start on that because yeah, I think it is a medium hard track because the softs go off so quickly. It's 5 laps max, and your tires are just done. So I expected that a lot more drivers would go for the mediums, but it's a lot of soft runners so far.
Yeah, we've only got one medium runner that's set a time as of yet, and that is Sean. But I think Sean loves those medium tyres. He sets a medium tyre lap at pretty much every track we go to. We've got one of the racing points now coming up to the line. That'll be Isotopic. He didn't have the best of first rounds either. He had decent enough pace, but just couldn't use it in the end. And he's backed off well before the line. He backed off massively before the line and still did 30.9. So that looked like it could have been a great time had he not backed off as much as he did. I also noticed Simply Superman did the same thing. He backed off well before the line and only did a 33.1. So they're probably going to be going onto the medium compound tyres later on in the session. David, meanwhile, in the McLaren, has already gone onto the medium compound tyres, so he's coming through towards the final corner now. Let's say where he is in relation to Sean, the other medium compound runner, currently in 8th place on a 31.9. Look for a low 31 to be a very competitive medium time. David's going to cross the line. It's a 31.4, so actually a pretty good time there from David to go P6 ahead of his McLaren teammate Flores and ahead of Harry Nowag as well on the soft tyres. So good banker there from David.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I only saw the last two corners from him. Pretty aggressive going into them, so yeah, great stuff from him.
Yeah, looking like a very good lap from him. Sean's coming across the line to do another lap on the medium tyres. He crosses the line. I don't think he improves on his time. Actually, no, it does slightly improve by about a tenth of a second, but it doesn't gain him anything on track at least. I believe we just had someone else on that. Sorry, that's Flores diving into the pit lane. We've got more people coming around on laps at the moment. Lighty's on the lap in the Ferrari. Had great pace again last time out in Bahrain. Is really starting to build his confidence on this game, but just a little bit of a couple of aggressive overtakes midway through the race cost him a couple spins, and it wasn't the result he would have wanted. Otherwise, he probably would have been battling Hero Jokin for the race win. They were on the same strategy. It just didn't pay out for him in the way that it did for the AlphaTauri man. Here comes Lighty then to the end of the second sector of 50.4, looking like a decent enough lap so far, but he's another pund committing to those soft compound tyres. Harry Nowag's gone 5th in the second Renault on his second lap on those soft set of tyres, so he's already done an extra lap compared to everyone else, and that is something you do not want on these tyres at this track. Lighty now coming down this long back straight towards the hairpin. We've got one of the Red Bulls in front of him. I believe that's Captain Chubbs, who might have actually just dived into the pit, and I think he has. So we'll wait and see as Lighty comes round the hairpin and now towards the final corner. Where can Lighty put his Ferrari? He had a great run first time out, like I said. Can he build on that here at China? But he's another one that's backed off through the final corner. So he's doing it. He had a good lap up to that point. It said he had a purple first and second sector, so that could have been a very competitive time. But just like Superman and just like Isotopic, he's backed off before the line, so you can already tell they're going to be going for the medium compound tyres later on.
Yeah, they just want good bankers for the first and second sector and last sector, they believe. So yeah, I think they're going to go for mediums after this one. But yeah, depending on your type 5, you only have one shot at qualifying on the medium, so it has to be good.
Yeah, and obviously on the F1 2020 game, hard compound tyres are not an option in qualifying anymore, so this really truncates these kind of sessions about. Hero Jokin, our championship leader and race winner last time out, on the medium compound tyres at the moment, coming down the back straight towards the hairpin, and he's committed to those medium compound tyres a little bit early, obviously because of how sleepy this track is as well. Do remember that the delta really between the soft and the medium compound tyres in qualifying is a little bit larger than you would see everywhere else. It's probably about a second, maybe a second and a half, and Hero's actually invalidated on the exit of the final corner. It would have been a 31.4. That would have put him just ahead of David, but that invalidation at the final corner means he's not set a time as of yet. So Hero Jokin's going to have to go again on the same set of mediums, and even though the medium tyres do last a lot longer than the softs, you want to take in these tyres really into the race with the least amount of laps as possible, don't you?
Yeah, you do. I mean, tyre wear is a real issue on this track, so you just want to do not too many laps on them, and take your in-lap easy as well, to not scrub off too many of your tyres. But yeah, and he has to pit as well because his gasoline is he's almost out of gas. So
yeah, we have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Old School, our pole sitter from last time out in the Williams, is coming down the back straight. He's also committed to the medium compound tyres a little bit early in this session, so he's coming down towards the hairpin. Let's see where he can go. So 31.4 is the best we've seen so far on the mediums. Can he beat that time? Can he get into the 1 minute 30s? That's one thing to look out for. Here comes Old School round the final corner, coming up towards the line, and it is a 31.1. It's a good lap on the mediums. Not quite into the 30s, but 0.3 of a second clear of David into 7th place. So again, another good qualifying showing from Old School.
Yeah, it is, and that shows just how fast he is. And yeah, I'm wondering what he's gonna do now. If he's gonna just let it sit on his tires, or is he gonna do a soft lap to start higher up?
Yeah, we'll have to.
Curious to see.
Have to wait and see. Does he, like you say, go to the soft compound tyres, or does he change? Does he stay with what he's got? Does he hope that he can stay inside the top 10? Our top 3 are all on laps once again. So we'll ride with B Morgan in the Renault. Currently our pole sitter on a 29.9. The only person in the 29s at the moment. He's just under a 10th clear of the Mercedes of Jan, and then it's Steve in 3rd in the second Mercedes. Here comes B Morgan to the end of the second sector line now. How much is he up on his time? Nearly 0.2 of a second. So it's been a good lap so far for B Morgan as he now comes through into the final sector. Let's see what he can do. Does he continue to improve? He runs a little bit onto the curb. That might affect his run coming out the corner, but it doesn't look too bad at the moment. Wait and see as he comes down the back straight, getting maybe a little bit of a toe off the Alfa Romeo in front of him. Not quite sure which Alfa Romeo that might be. I think it might be Stumpy directly in front of him. He's just moving out of the way. I didn't quite see that. But now coming down towards the hairpin. Late on the brakes, B Morgan. A little bit of a lock-up. Misses the apex ever so slightly, but that won't cost him too much time. And now he comes up towards the final corner. Can he keep it on the road? We've already seen a couple of people invalidate here. B Morgan just about keeps it on the road and now towards the line. He doesn't actually improve in that final sector on his personal best, but it's still an overall improvement for B Morgan. Keeps pole position on a 29.8. We now just wait for the Mercedes of Jan, who is 5.5 seconds down, so he's not going to be improving on his time. Steve slightly improved, but stayed in third place on a 30.2, so he's up there at the moment. And the top three really quite separated from the rest of the field.
Yeah, they are, but I don't think the rest of the pack have committed to the softs yet. Yeah, maybe Tekken does, as he has to do a run now because he invalidated. But yeah, I think some of them are still going to try to set in a faster medium lap.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Captain Chubbs is out again on the medium compound tyres. He's coming through the middle part of the lap, but he's again invalidated. So Captain Chubbs continuing to struggle at the moment, not able really to keep the car on the road. We saw that in Bahrain. He has good pace when he can keep the car on the road, but other than that, it's really difficult for him at the moment to get a good result. In Vlores crossed the line, I believe. He's on a lap at the moment. Sorry, David is the one that's crossed the line on the same set of medium compound tyres, going for another lap and already inside the top 10, going for a second lap on the medium tyres, and that means an extra in-lap and out-lap on those tyres as well. David is really taking some life out of these medium tyres.
Yeah, he did. He does, and eventually you have to wonder: is it gonna be paying off, or is it smarter to go out on the soft tires and just do an early pit stop, or hope for an early safety car, which can happen on this track because it's so slippery. When you're side by side and you just touch slightly, you can lose the car, and barriers are far away. But yeah, you can touch one and lose a wheel.
Simply Superman, meanwhile, crossed the line in the medium tyres to do a 31.2. Isotopic was following from him for the whole lap. Looked like he got a great toe down the back straight, and Isotopic's now gone to pole position. So we saw him back off on his first soft lap, but this time around he's decided to commit to the soft compound tyres and has done a 29.7 to put him a 10th clear at the front of the field. Harry Nawag has jumped up into second place in the other Renault ahead of his teammate. So a good lap from Harry Nawag as well to get ahead of B Morgan.
Yeah, and it's getting closer and closer up to the top. I mean, just a couple of tenths between P1 and P4. And yeah, that's really what I like to see. It's been like that all season, last season, so great stuff.
Yeah, David crosses the line. Meanwhile, he does improve on his lap, but he doesn't gain him a place. So it may be a little bit of a wasted lap for David, unfortunately. Lighty's on a lap in the Ferrari as well, but I believe he's about 10 seconds down. So it looks like he's maybe made a mistake somewhere earlier in the lap and is going to go again for a second run. He's just put his ERS back up into overtake mode. So he now comes down the pit straight. So we'll wait and see what he can do. We've got a lot of people actually who haven't set a valid time yet. So we've got Stumpy that's not set a competitive time. He's just crossed the line on his set of medium tyres to start his first one on that compound. Kiki in the Williams and Alex in the Ferrari haven't set a time as of yet. Hero Jokin and Captain Chubbs haven't set a time either. So all the four of those drivers seeming really struggling to get a valid lap time in.
Yeah, I believe I haven't seen Kiki on track just yet. So I think he's just gambling on the one hop lap on his mediums. Alex, I'm not sure, and Hero Jokin and Captain Chubbs, yeah, they're really struggling to get a time in to not invalidate their lap.
Yeah, they're really struggling. Kiki, that's a bit of a gamble for him, really, isn't it? Because even if you're going to set your time on the mediums, you can maybe purposely invalidate a lap on the softs just to get your eye in for the track and the conditions. So Kiki really risking it with that final run. We continue to run with Stumpy and Lighty, who are both on their laps. Lighty's 7/10 of a second down on his personal best, but as we know, Lighty backed off well before the end of the lap. So he will gain in this final sector on his personal best. Let's see where it can put him. Lead medium runner at the moment is Old School. He's only 9th at this point, so even the medium runners, the best of the medium runners, really struggling to hold their own inside the top 10. A lot of people have committed to the soft compound tyres. Here comes Lighty then up towards the hairpin. Does he continue on this lap, or does he decide to go for the softs and come into the pit lane? He's going to come up towards the final corner. What is the lap time going to be? He comes around the final corner. No, he goes into the pit lane. So he does the opposite of what I thought it was going to do. Lighty deciding not to continue with that lap. Stumpy is, however, he's going to come up to the line. Second on the grid last time out on the medium tyres, and he's now the lead medium runner on a 31 flat. What a lap time from Stumpy. Goes P8.
Yeah, it is, and I think the rest of the medium runners is just gonna gamble on just gonna do it on the soft tire, because There's so many soft runners, but Stumpy, great lap on his medium. Really, really tough on this track to get a competitive time in.
Yeah, that's really, really tough. It's like you say, really tough to do so, and to be nearly within the 1 minute 30s is a really, really good lap from Stumpy. And the Jan is on another lap meanwhile in the Mercedes. He's on the soft compound tyres once again, looking to get back up onto that front row. Him and B Morgan held the front row initially, but they have slipped behind Isotopic and Harry Noir. Here comes Jan round the final corner. Does he improve on his time? He does, a 29.9, but it still only keeps him in 4th place, so he's not able to find enough time on his final lap on the softs, and he hasn't got enough time left in the session to improve. So at the moment, Jan stuck in 4th place on the grid, which obviously isn't a bad start, but for those starting on the softs, it is crucial for you to be right at the front of the field, isn't it?
Yeah, they really have to. I mean, and have a good start as well. If you're getting into the pick rings in mid-pack, it's really going to cost you your tires. They're going to be overheating so fast and wearing so fast. So yeah, you really just have to get a good start and get a clean getaway.
Yeah, we're just looking at other people coming out then onto their outlaps. No one's on a lap as of yet. They're all just waiting on their final runs. Old School has gone back out on the medium tyres, so he's not committing to the softs. He's hoping to stay inside the top 10 or maybe drop to 11th and start on a fresh set of medium compound tyres. Stumpy has retired from the session. He's happy with 8th on his set of mediums, but Stumpy and Old School, front two on the grid last time out, the only two fully committing to the medium tyres, which I'm a little bit shocked by to see so many people going for the softs.
Yeah, same here. And yeah, it just, I've got a soft heart for alternate strategies, but yeah, this is a bit too much, guys. A bit too much alternate strategy with the soft tires.
Yeah, it does seem like that. It's just riding with Kiki.
Held up.
Massively held up there. That was I think that was Tekken's AI car. Tekken's AI car's just left the pit lane after he retired. So Tekken didn't make it into his pit box before he retired. So his car's just gone back out onto the track, and Kiki leaving it to a final run, like you said he would, but going out on the soft compound tyres on his final run, and has been held up by an AI car. So that is the risk that Kiki took with not going for a lap, and it's cost him dearly.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I like the English risk it for a biscuit. Well, this is what you get if it all goes wrong.
Yeah, if it does go, like you say, if it does all go wrong, then he's now stuck down in 15th. That's the best he's going to get in this session. He's still got 3 people behind it, well, 2 people, because Alex hasn't left the pit lane, unfortunately. Jokin's invalidated his time before we even got to turn 1, so here Jokin's not going to be qualifying at the front of the field for the 2nd race in a row. Captain Chubbs is the only one that can knock Kiki a further place down the field, and Captain Chubbs is on a lap on the soft compound tyres. His Red Bull teammate Sean's in front of him on the track on the soft, so we'll ride with him. Currently up in 6th place, 0.3 of a second up on his personal best, so looking like a good lap so far from Sean. See if he can improve in the final set. So Sean, just like Lighty, really has really found a real turn of speed in recent races, and he's really looking very strong. In 6th place on the grid, that would be definitely one of his best qualifying positions in TTML. Let's see what he can do as he comes down towards that hairpin. We've got the 2 Renaults in the background, I think giving each other a tow, it seems like. I don't know which Renault is in front of the other, but they've left it a bit late for them to both get a tow on their quali run, so someone is sacrificing their final run. But here comes Sean around the final corner. What is the lap time? He crosses the line. He stays in 6th. He isn't able to find any time in that last sector. He lost a bit of time. Stays 6th, improves ever so slightly, but it's not enough to get him any places. Captain Chubbs only 12th in the end, and across the line goes B Morgan. So it's B Morgan that got the assist from his teammate, and he does a 29.5 go, 0.2 of a second clear. Lighty with a brilliant lap to go 4th in the Ferrari, exactly the same lap time as Harry Noir, but somehow Lighty is in 4th and not 3rd. It should be the other way around, because actually no, it shouldn't be the other way around. I'm sorry, Harry Noir set the lap time first, but Lighty 4th with exactly the same lap time as Harry Noir on that one. That's a really, really close lap time. It's only Flores and David at the moment who can complete their laps, and David crosses the line and goes 6th on the soft tyres, so he obviously didn't want to stay on the mediums. Good lap from him, and now Flores coming up to the line. Can he improve? I believe he stays where he was, which I think was P12 at that time, but a good end to the session. And B Morgan, Harry Noir sacrificed his run at pole position, but it gained them massively. B Morgan with a great lap in the end.
Yeah, it is, and quite a big gap, almost 2/10 to Isotopic. Yeah, great quality lap from B Morgan.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. That might actually be one of the biggest qualifying margins we've seen in TTML Division 3, which goes to show how close it's been in previous rounds. But yeah, B Morgan on pole position. Isotopic on the front row, much improved from Bahrain. Harry Nawag, great qualifying for Renault overall as a team. Lighty in fourth, his best qualifying in TTML. Jan 5th, David 6th, Steve 7th, Sean 8th, Tekken 9th. Old School into the top 10 on the mediums with a good final run. Stumpy 11th, Valores 12th, Simply Superman only 13th, Chubbs 14th, Nolan, Kiki, Alex and Hero Joking. 4 drivers not able to set a time in the session. So our championship leader and race winner last time out for the second round in a row is starting in last place. But it worked for him last time out. Maybe it could work for him again today.
Yeah, is he a streamer? Do you know? Is he just doing a last to first?
He might be, yeah. He might be playing us all for a fool when he's actually some sort of incredible esports driver that's just playing with all of us. But I mean, anything. I mean, the good thing really for Hero Joking here for him is that he can. The only way is up. He can't go down from where he is, so he knows that he can only gain places from where he is.
Yeah, he's already. Doesn't matter what he do, he can only win. But yeah, what a great quality. And what you said, yeah, I was thinking about it, about qualifying. And yeah, normally it's the top 3 or 4 within a tenth, maybe a tenth and a half, and now it's almost 2 tenths between P1 and P2. It it doesn't sound like much, but in Division 3, it's a pretty big gap.
It really is a big gap for Division 3, which leads me to believe that B Morgan might have some serious race pace here. Everyone inside the top 10, apart from Old School then, is on the soft compound tyres, so seeing a lot of people probably coming in from about lap 5 onwards if they want to make the soft hard strategy work, but they're going to have to hope really for a safety car, because the hard tyres, while they are a very consistent tyre and they obviously don't wear anywhere near as much as the softs do, about 21 laps you're going to have to do, at least it seems, on the hard compound tyres, and that is a massive ask for that compound, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And again, with the hearts as well, tire temperatures are going to be an issue. I mean, there's a few really long um, right turns, right turns. What do I say? Right-handers. And they're just going to heat up your left front tire, and if you're not careful with that, you can lose it on traction because of that.
You can do, yeah, and that is also going to be obviously a problem for the soft compound tyre runners. Probably about 2 or 3 laps as they get in. We have got very sunny, lovely conditions, so that obviously ups the track temperature as it is as well. So the soft runners, especially those currently running 7th, 8th and 9th, so Steve, Sean, Tekken, the first people to be under pressure from those on the medium and compound tyres, they're really going to struggle with their front left tyre temperatures at the start of the race. There's your predicted pit stop strategy on your screen. So it's lap 6 or 7, you'll expect to see the soft runners in for a set of hard compound tyres. If anyone goes from a set of soft compound tyres to a set of medium compound tyres, then they are guaranteed a 2-stop. There is no way they will get those medium tyres to the end of the race. Old School, obviously, 10th place, able to get inside the top 10 with a lap on the medium tyres, but actually, in the end, it might not have worked out for him because his medium tyres are going to be at least, 3 or 4 laps older than all the medium runners behind him.
Yeah, they are. Stumpy and all the others behind them are gonna have fresh mediums, and his at least one hot lap, an in lap and an out lap all. So that's Captain Chubbs gets qualified. And what's also just P70, P80, Alex and Hero Jokin, just 2 drivers who chose to start on the hards.
Yeah, I'm surprised that only those 2 decided to go for it. I'm maybe shocked that someone maybe like Nolan or Chubbs didn't go for the hard compound tyres, but those 2 from the back going for something completely different, hoping to run long, maybe looking for a late safety car. That's obviously what brought the likes of Hero Jokin and Lighty into play in the last races, going very, very long on their tyres. But everyone is lining up now at the back of the grid, so we're going to get going for round 2 of the TTML Division 3 season. We'll wait and see who gets the best start off the front of the grid. Neither one of our top 2 in qualifying last time out made it up to the front of the grid. It's a completely different order this time round, and expect to see that for the rest of the season. This field is so tightly packed and anybody could win this race. B Morgan then heads the field ahead of Isotopic before they get going for the lights out. We're just waiting a little bit. We've got a little bit of a delay before this race gets underway. Hopefully we haven't got any sort of lobby glitch. Just have to wait and see before the lights come on. In the meantime, though, before the lights do come on, I think we might have a little bit of a problem here. But in the meantime, before the lights do come on, have you got a prediction really for the top 3 today?
Oh, this is gonna be so hard. I was hoping you forgot to ask, but yeah, I looked fast. He starts on P1. I think he's gonna hold on to P1. Um, P2. I'm just gonna do a really, really weird one because it's gonna be really close and maybe some safety car stuff are gonna sort it out. Old school P2
Yeah.
and Lighty P3.
Ooh, a bit of a truncated field. I kind of tend to agree with you. I think P. Morgan looks to have some really, really good pace. I'm going to put Stumpy for second. I think he's in a really, really good position. He had good pace on those mediums in qualifying and has a fresher set than Old School in front of him. And for third place, I'm going to agree with you. I think Lighty might be able to pull it off today, might be able to get onto that podium. He looks to have good pace as well. It does look like, unfortunately, we have some sort of lobby error, so that's obviously caused by someone having a bit of a poor connection. We did see the likes of Tekken and Nolan leave during qualifying, have a little bit of a wobbly connection, so maybe that is why we've got a little bit of a problem with the lobby, as Tekken has actually left the session and my game's crashed.